Now I'm going to say something that might sound unpopular and maybe even hurt some feelings. NVIDIA GPUs are just straight up better than AMD. And you know how I realized that? By my own painful experience. About 2 months ago, I dropped a video where I switched over to an AMD graphics card. For the very first time in my life, I had a GPU so powerful that I could finally run every single game in 4K. It felt like a pure bliss, yopta. To give you some context, before that I was stuck on an RTX 3050, yup, the weakest RTX card in the entire lineup, blядь. And probably the most hated one too, which is kinda funny. So when I upgraded to an RX 6900 XT, oh my god, 16 gigabytes and not just the regular version but the OC edition, man, I was on the top of the world. That card was nearly 3 times stronger than my old one, and all the games I couldn't touch on ultra settings before were now running flawlessly. For the first months it was amazing. The card was so massive, it literally couldn't even fit inside my old PC case. So I had to build this open air test bench out of Lego. Yeah, the experience was wild. But you know what? After that honeymoon phase, the rose-colored glasses came off real quick. Here's the thing, people always say AMD cards are cheaper, and for the same price you can grab way more performance compared to NVIDIA. And technically that's true, of course, my boy. But what people completely forget is the details that actually matter. Remember, my boy, with NVIDIA you're not just getting raw performance, you are getting reliability. With NVIDIA, your GPU isn't just a gaming machine, it's a workstation.
Ew, you're just an AMD hater. Ew, the only reason you don't like AMD is because it doesn't have RTX and DLSS. Ew, RTX fanboy.
Look, if you're the kind of person who literally just plays games 24/7, then sure, AMD is a must-have for you. But let's be real for a second. I highly doubt that anyone who owns such a powerful PC is gonna only play games all day. Like, bro, we are human. We like to grow, to explore new things. Especially now when AI is exploding and the people are making insane money off it. And that's just one example. And if you're that person who wants to jump into all of this, being stuck with an AMD card is basically a death sentence. Alright, I'm not going to sit here and repeat the same boring stuff like, oh, AMD has worse RTX, no DLSS, FSR is trash. That's obvious. And don't worry, my comrades, I will talk about that later. But let me ask you one question.
No.
Okay, let me just quickly show you. I'm opening up Comfy UI. Let's say I wanna generate some anime art. Why not, right? We wait a couple of seconds and then... And yeah, AMD cards are simply cannot handle stuff like this because they don't have CUDA cores. CUDA cores are something even an old GTX 1050 Ti has, but the most powerful AMD card doesn't. And sure, some people will say, no, you're wrong. AMD cards can run AI without CUDA, and technically, yeah, they can, but come on. I mean, what's even the point of having 16 gigabytes AMD card if that same card with all that crazy VRAM still loses to the weakest RTX 3050, which only has 8 gigabytes when it comes to AI generation and all of that stuff. Because let's be real, AI is actually important right now. Alright, now let's talk about the thing that really pisses me off. And no, I'm not talking about RTX and DLSS yet, even though that's a big topic too. I'm talking about older games, stuff like GTA San Andreas or GTA 4. If you know my channel, you know that I absolutely love modding these games. Look at this. This is GTA San Andreas with a graphics mod called San Andreas DirectX 3.0. This thing basically turns a 20-year-old game into something that almost looks like GTA 6. It's gorgeous. But here's the thing, my boy. This kind of stuff, blядь, just doesn't work on AMD GPUs. Same with GTA 4, unfortunately. With NVIDIA, you can transform these games with mods. And with AMD, forget about it. It just doesn't play nice with older titles and heavy mods. And you know what? GTA San Andreas and GTA 4 are just couple of examples. It's not only about those games. Think about Skyrim, for example. That game is basically held together by mods. And yeah, there are tons of graphical mods for it too. So if you're the kind of PC gamer who likes to take an old game like San Andreas or Skyrim and give it a massive glow up with mods, well, good luck if you're on AMD. Those mods simply won't work. Just imagine imagine my face when I installed a graphics mod for GTA San Andreas on my AMD card, booted up the game, and all I got was a black screen. That was a complete disaster. Okay, my boy, even if the fact that AI runs 10 times worse on AMD doesn't bother you, and even if you don't care about old games and the mods not working, there is still one more thing that should definitely make you rethink buying an AMD card. Okay, like I said at the start, NVIDIA cards are real working GPUs. You can do anything on them, edit videos, render them, stream, whatever. And the reason for that is this shit. Yes, NVIDIA's video encoder is just on another level compared to AMD's. Yes, AMD has their own encoder, but it's worse, less optimized, and doesn't get the same software support. On top of that, NVIDIA has CUDA cores, and they are used not just for AI, but also in editing programs like Premiere Pro and DaVinci Resolve to massively speed up rendering. Alright, blять, let's imagine this. I've got an NVIDIA GPU, let's say an RTX 3050. I can render a 10-minute 4K video in about 8 minutes. And you, my friend, you've got an AMD GPU. Same power, almost the same price, but somehow your render takes twice as long. And there is nothing you can do about it. That's just a fact. And listen, I'm not just making this up. I used to have an RTX 3050 myself, and when I switched to the funny number GPU, a card that's supposed to be a way more powerful, I was shocked. My render started taking twice as long compared to my old 3050. I couldn't believe it. Yeah guys, CUDA cores really matter, and AMD just doesn't have them. Even when I had 16GB of VRAM, it didn't help, because what's the point of having all that VRAM if it's slower than NVIDIA's? Hell, even when I was messing around with AI image generation for fun, my 3050 handled it. But on AMD, ComfyUI just kept crashing and nothing worked properly. Alright guys, this whole video I've been just roasting AMD cards, and honestly, yeah, it's because I personally didn't like them. See, I'm the kind of person who loves creating stuff, like making videos, voiceovers, editing, working with AI, even modding old games, and for me, buying an AMD GPU was just a massive mistake. Yeah, I will admit it, I messed up. I didn't do my research, I just bought the first powerful looking GPU I saw. But this video wasn't made just to trash AMD for no reason. It's a warning. Everything in this world has its own downsides, and the AMD cards are no exception. Now don't get me wrong, AMD cards are great for gaming. If you're just a casual gamer who plays for fun, AMD is fine. But if you ever want to do more with your PC, like editing, rendering, AI, creative work, then AMD is simply not the right choice. And at that point, you will end up switching to NVIDIA anyway, which means double trouble and double the money spent. And there is one more thing. NVIDIA is just more popular. People recognize it. If you ever try to sell your AMD card, good luck. Most buyers don't know much about AMD, and they would rather stick to the brand they already trust, NVIDIA. Oh, and yeah, of course, RTX and the FSR. Let's be real, AMD's ray tracing is weaker and the FSR is worse. And that's the pattern we always see. NVIDIA invents some crazy new technology, and then, years later, AMD finally catches up. They're always eating NVIDIA's leftovers, and that's just the reality.